maybe our next guest disagrees as we bring in Sean Salisbury. Sean, I know I'm putting you on the spot, dude. Top of your head, favorite Phil Collins song?
It's got to be. Well, why am I losing? We see this in what's the number one? Give me. I'm sitting here driving. I just talked about him yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And I swear to you, I don't know how it came up on our morning show, but Phil Collins was a topic of conversation yesterday or the day before. What's his? Give me his number one song we always hear.
It's the one with the drum. What's the one that
it's got a great prelude to it. Maybe that's what we were talking about leading up to it. What is that?
Air tonight.
Is it in the air tonight with the drums? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's his best cut because that the little drum roll and the way it goes. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Most famous drum fill of all time. It's not even close. By the way, I'm not even counting Genesis songs.
Right. He's got a lot
of which there were a ton there.
We
were just talking about the greatness of Phil Collins, Sean.
Well, yeah, Phil Collins. And real quick, I love the songs that lead up to, whether it's a walk up or whether it's a fight, get you fired up or a pumped up song. But AC/DC with
Thunderstruck.
Yeah, I mean, just the lead in.
Yeah.
You're always looking for the. I mean, I love the lead in. You got to have that, and then you got to hit the post if you're like the VJ. If you're
that's
the
right.
VJ, you got to close out your talk and lead that. Hey, it's AC/DC, 70 degrees in Sacramento. It's a Monday, 49ers victory Monday. AC/DC has it next. We are struck by the thunder. Bam, it kicks in. There you go. Got to hit the post with a little DJ work.
I love that. Sean Salisbury doing it. Go ahead, Jason.
So, Sean, we were talking earlier about concern for the 49ers. We thought they got a great win, certainly Sunday in Seattle, but early word now about Kittle being out at a minimum of 4 weeks. They're already thin at the receiver position, and maybe Brock Purdy. The injuries derailed them last year. How concerned should Niner fans be at the moment about their early season injuries?
Very, and let's not forget, we don't know, the McCaffrey thing. When he's right, the guy's a beast. But, how available is he and how much you got to work him? Going in last week, we're like, well, is he going to play? And then, bam, game time, he goes out and plays, touches it 20-plus times. I'm concerned because, guys, for the first time, we've been doing this a long time, us three together. And I'm concerned for the first time. We thought the injury of who the 49ers are and who they are going to be. Can they overcome? And listen, you guys know, I don't know about banging the table, but I'm a Purdy fan. I am. I think he's a really good player. Now, you can't throw him into a bind like you did at the end of the game there, and he did, throwing the ball to the other team. Yet you look at his numbers and you say, well, damn, the guy just keeps winning, and he got bailed out by a great catch at the end zone by the tight end. But is that guts to give a guy a chance? Or is it, damn, don't, oh, great. That when the guy shoots a shot and you're like, no, don't, oh, great shot. It's like, don't throw. Man, what a great throw, what a great catch. So, I listen, anytime you lose a Kittle for an extended amount of time, you're right, the wide receiver group, if it's not injured, has been disgruntled at times in the past. And then the Purdy injury this early, of course it does, because I think more we cringe at the fact that it's kind of like the Astros here. Guys been with 20 injuries and another one last night with Luis Garcia. It's almost like, oh, here we go again. Yet you don't want to have that mentality. So the question is, how good are they in with Brock Purdy for the people who defend him? Perfect opportunity for you to defend him because he keeps winning. Now the question is the others who some on a national scope don't give him the respect he deserves because he was we're still on he was the last pick of the draft like he's become a bad player. No, the question is, can he what we ask all our quarterbacks to do? Elevate when things aren't good. Meaning not just him, but everybody else. Can you win 3 or 4 in a row with Kittle? McCaffrey misses a half, somebody on defense gets banged up, God forbid, and, one of your linemen misses a start and you're banged up. Now what do you do? We know what everybody's now being compared to. Can you do what Josh Allen does? Can you elevate when you don't have the best receiving class in the league? So I'm concerned about him because I've seen the injury movie with him before and they weren't able to overcome all of them last year. But I also know that Brock Purdy knows how to win, so there's got to be some credence lent to that as well. And I think going in with the offseason, I think we're walking on eggshells, if that's fair. But you look at the talent and say, when they're right, they can win the West. But they can also win 8 games if they're banged up too much. So this is a great moving year for Brock Purdy, like a Saturday at Augusta, to prove to the world that he can carry him when he's banged up and you got your star tight end and possibly don't know how healthy you're going to be on the perimeter. This is a good test for him.
Sean, take us back into the locker room, if you would. The Niners released Jake Moody yesterday, replacing with Eddie Pinheiro. What is the dynamic that coaches and GMs, we were talking about this yesterday, have to also get through in their decision-making when you've got a kicker who's already kind of on an island from what we understand, listening to athletes in the locker room. But when you've got a kicker that's continually letting the team down, does it get to a point where a GM or coach goes, these guys are actually, it's going to be like Full Metal Jacket when they held dude down and beat him with soap. Like, we got to get this guy out of here for his own good. You had, if I remember, God, I hope I'm right here. If memory serves me correctly, you had Fuad Revez as your kicker.
And John Carney in San Diego. I held for him too. So I put it this way. I got out of the league. John and I went into, he was at Notre Dame when I was SC, same class. I played 10 years. Was out of the league for 12 years talking on ESPN, and he's still kicking. And I was his holder in San Diego. So the guy's 74 and still knocking him in from 45, right? So listen, I kick a, and in college we had. So I've been lucky, but listen, we talk about them when they miss. It's like offensive linemen when they hold. Yeah. The respect, you don't realize how much you love Adam Vinatieri until you watch some of the other guys in the league and you see him under pressure, right?
Right.
So that's the job. And when you're right, we go in, they're working on their golf swing on the sideline during practice, during training camp. You're like, I want to kill you.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a quarterback who's not working like the guard or the fullback, but they got a job to do, and you got to swing through it. And we put it on you, and it's a tough job. Nobody wants it other than the kicker, but there's expectations. And when you go out there and you're playing and you still on, and guys are busting their ass, and you get maybe 3-4 chances a game, counting extra points if you're lucky, and field goals, you're expected to make them. And then when it happens once, okay, twice, you start to wonder, regardless of the history of the kicker, 3 times it's a trend. And somebody's going to miss out on the playoffs because of that position this year. And as much as it's a big concern when the guy's gone after one game, so you know that you can't keep letting your team down, but you also can't approach it emotionally as a player. Kickers, they have more answers than a doggone relief pitcher. The good ones are precious. And Moody, sometimes it changes venue, and next thing you know, they've made 25 in a row. But you can't let that cost you. That's got to be an asset, not a detriment. And when the kicker becomes that, and we saw it all over the league this past week. And so history matters. If you're Adam Vinatieri or if you're guys that have knocked them down, Morton Anderson's at the right time. But I can tell you this, early in a season, when you're wondering going in how it turns out, and then it costs you or almost costs you even worse. And in some cities like Cleveland, it costs you a loss. Those guys, the bus usually leaves on a Tuesday after a Sunday game, and you don't want to be on it if you're a kicker. But I do get it. Because you know what? And if it takes 5 kickers during a year, then go find 5. You can't let that be the reason. If it is, then you might want to put a fullback in to kick and go straight on like George Blanda. You can't let it happen. You got to take the emotion out of it. They are football players, and we need them, but you also need them to make kicks that don't cost you. And they got out in front of it because there's going to be 3 other teams that are going to change kickers before the season's over, and we all know that.
Sean, over the years, we've heard coaches or general managers, announcers, whoever might say, the guys don't need to like each other. They're out there competing. They just need to be on the same page. But kind of with that said, I'm asking that or setting that up for a guy like McCarthy the other night, the Vikings QB, who was struggling, understandably, first game as a pro, but then, turns around in the second half. And everything you heard afterwards is just how much that team loves him, the stuff he said that was right. What's the value in a quarterback, I guess, even being liked by the teammates?
Yeah, listen, it's easy for us to say you don't want to be liked, but everybody wants to be liked. Now, if you said you got to choose one from a teammate, they're your buddy, or they're going to tell you the truth and respect you, and you'll gain their respect. Which one are you going farther with? You're going farther with the respect. But come on, man. There's nothing more miserable than walking into a quarterback room and disliking or despising the dude sitting next to you. It literally takes focus away. imagine you got divorced, you had a girlfriend, it didn't work out, you tried to be friends, but you just couldn't because it was always bickering. And then all of a sudden she's at your house watching your nighttime shows with you 2 hours a night. You're like, oh gosh, the show just got miserable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to, or she's feeling the same way about you. You don't want that. Of course you want harmony in your locker room, but it does start with respect. But if you got both, you're onto something. Leadership's not popular. There's no age limit or age requirement on leadership. And this ought to tell you something about how they felt. Think about what Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings did. He's had quarterbacks he's taken care of and turned into great players. They had a Pro Bowl guy who's in Seattle now who cost him $30 million or would have cost him 30, 35. Had 14 wins last year and looked like he was back to being the Sam Darnold we all thought he'd be. They let him walk without even making an effort. And the guy you got waiting is a guy who is a winner, rightfully so. Didn't throw the ball a lot in college, but you drafted him high, coming off where he's still a rookie basically because he didn't play a snap last year. And you put all your trust in on a 14-win team that a rookie was going to take over and not just win, but lead and grab people and make them better. That ought to show you the commitment. And they didn't go out and try for anybody. Not Aaron Rodgers, nobody. It was him or bust. And after a guy throws for 30-plus touchdowns and has a hell of a year in Darnold, that ought to tell you, number one. And then here's a guy, and here's why he's going to be really good. One is he doesn't need to throw for 400 yards to beat you. Two is he doesn't lose. He didn't lose much at IMG. He lost one game as a starter in college, and I do believe it's contagious, and I do believe there's something to guys who just are used to winning, no matter where they go, and used to losing. And right off the bat, struggle statistically was accurate. They protected him, meaning run the ball, get him on the edge some. And what's he do? Instead of talking it, he took care of his business when it would have been easy to say, yeah, this is his first start. It's okay to go in Chicago. The hall pass. No. He didn't want a hall pass. Leads them on 3 drives. They go score and win. That is how you gain respect. And real quick, Dan Fouts told me years ago, the game before I played a game, his broadcast, I said, Dan, define leadership for me. I was getting ready to start the next day. He was on a broadcast team. He said, Sean, here's what leadership is. Stand down the gun barrel. You're going to take a shot in the helmet right to the mouth and deliver the football so those guys up front know you got them. And it's not, he said, that'll sustain you far more than a 400-yard passing game. McCarthy's got that in him. J.J. McCarthy's going to be a hell of a player. We saw 2 talented, different type of guys, but really good football players. McCarthy's got what every coach is looking for. Coachable, winner, and elevates the room, not just himself. Minnesota's in good shape. It was a hell of a win.
Speaking of a guy who elevates the room and not just himself, Sean Salisbury joining us each and every Tuesday or Wednesday, schedule permitting, and we always appreciate that. We know how busy you are, brother. Enjoy your week, too. Always awesome having you pump up our show.
Always great to be on with you guys. Thank you very much.
All right,
thank you.
Take care. That's Sean